Hello future CS, welcome back to my channel, your one-stop guide for everything related to CA exams. So if you are new here, I am Pooja, a chartered accountant. I have an experience of working for Ernst & Young and KPMG, and I help CA aspirants like you succeed with practical tips, strategies and support. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you some crucial insights from the ICAI BOS webinar for CA Final, Direct Tax Law and International Taxation. So this session covered some very important points that every CA Final student must be aware of, such as which Finance Act is applicable for the upcoming September 2025 exams, the best sources from where you can study, the section-wise weightages and marks distribution, and the most important point covered was important topics from each chapter which you should be studying. So these topics will come short in the upcoming exams. And of course the question paper pattern. So get ready with your notebooks and pen to note down the important topic from each chapter which you should concentrate on this last few days. So if you are preparing for DT and international taxation, this video will help you understand what ICAI expects from you and how you should plan your studies accordingly. So guys, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. Every subscription works like a motivation for me and it makes my day. So guys, when you visit my channel in the playlist section, you can see there is a separate playlist for CA final exam. And there is also playlist for CA final auditing, CA final AFM, and also there is a playlist for this case scenario booklet where I'll be adding more videos by solving the case scenario questions. There is also a playlist as CA GPT for students. In this I have made some videos demonstrating different techniques in which you can use CA GPT while preparing for your CA exams. So please visit my channel and you can watch all of these videos. So first we'll see which Finance Act is applicable. So for the upcoming September 2025 exams, the Income Tax Act 1961 as amended by the Finance Act number 2 2024 is applicable and the relevant assessment year is assessment year 25-26. And also the significant notifications and circulars issued up to 28th February 2025 are relevant. Now we will discuss as to from which all sources you should be studying for the upcoming exams. So most of these sources you would have already covered. First is the study material. So November 2024 edition is applicable for you. Then you have to go through the statutory update for September 2025 exam and also the judicial update for the September 2025 exam. So if you are wondering from where you can find this statutory update and judiciary update, let me show you guys just a second. So here I have opened the ICAI website. Just click here on New Scheme of Education and Training. And then scroll down. So you can see your study material. Then you can see your final. Then just scroll down here and select this Direct Tax Law and International Taxation. So if we scroll down here, you can see statutory update for September 2025 exam. Then judicial update for September 2025 exam. So it is very important to go through these updates because sometimes questions will be asked from these updates itself. And it is also very important to go through the entire study material and solve all the test your knowledge, all the illustration from your study material. And then you have the revision test paper. So you can practice the revision test paper both of May 25 attempt as well as September 25 attempt. Because in May 25 also the same Finance Act and the same assessment year was applicable. And also in this September 25 revision test paper, there was one question on compounding of offences. So it was mentioned that this is very important topic. So please go through this question. And then you have the model test papers. So this is nothing but compilation of the various mock test papers. So it is very important to go through this also. And then you have the case scenario booklet. So in the exam, case scenario based MCQ will be asked. So please go through all the case scenarios from this case scenario booklet. And then again the mock test papers. So this also you can attempt May as well as September 2025. Both the mock test papers you can attempt. And then it was suggested that it is very important to do written practice in the study leave, because most of the times the question paper will be lengthy in the exam. So if you have to finish writing the answer within the time, it is very important to do written practice. Because in the real exam, then you will be having the habit of writing fast as well as legibly. And one more suggestion given was to prepare your own handwritten notes, which you can use for one day before revision purposes. And in case you are unable to prepare notes, Saransh also has been uploaded. So in the ICI website, you can find this Saransh. So Saransh is the summary form of the entire study material in the form of bullet points, flow charts, diagrams, etc. So you can use this also for revision purpose. However, Saransh is not a substitute for the study material. First you have to go through the study material and then only use Saransh only for revision purpose. So now we will discuss the most important part of this video. That is, first we'll be seeing the section wise weightages and marks, and then we'll also see from each section what are the important topics. So you can note this down in your notebook. However, it was also mentioned that do not ignore any topic or any chapter, because question might come from any part of your study material. So basically this direct tax law and international taxation, this is divided into three sections. And the first section is further divided into two subparts. So let's see here, section number 1. So this covers chapter number 1 to chapter number 12. So section number 1 is further divided into two sections. So in this first subpart, this comprises of chapter number 1 to chapter number 9. Let's see the weightage and marks for this. The weightage for this is 20% to 23%, and the marks allotted are 24 marks to 26 marks. So from this chapter number 1 to chapter number 9, the first compulsory question. So in your question paper, the first question in descriptive part will be compulsory question. In that, the first compulsory question of 14 marks will be asked from this part itself. So basically this part tests the evaluation and synthesis skill. So this question may be on computation of total income or tax liability of a company or cooperative society, and it may contain the requirement to recommend solution to optimize tax liability. So accordingly, you might have to apply some special provisions like a MAT or section 115 BBA, section 115 BAB in case of company, and you might also have to apply alternate minimum tax, that is section 115 BAD or 115 BAE in case of cooperative societies. And while answering this question, brief reasoning should be given for treatment of each item. So apart from this compulsory question, from this section, there might be questions asked on heads of income also, particularly relating to profits and gains of business or profession, capital gains and income from other sources also. And there might also be questions on clubbing provisions, set off and carry forward of losses, and deductions from gross total income and assessment of various entities. So these are the important topics from this subpart of section 1. Now let's see the second subpart of section 1. So basically this comprises of chapter number 10 to chapter number 12. So the weightage for this is 20% to 22%, and the marks allocated are 22 marks to 24 marks. So let's see the important topics under this now. So basically in this subsection you will get application oriented question. on charitable trusts, political parties, electoral trusts, comprising of 2 to 3 independent questions can also be asked from this section. And also there can be a full-fledged question on section 115 TD. And there can also be question relating to digital transaction, that is virtual digital asset. And also independent case scenario based question can be asked pertaining to income under section 11, corpus donations, taxability of anonymous donations, registration procedure under section 12AB, exemption under section 1023C, etc. And there will also be questions on REITs, and there might be question on infrastructure investment trust, and there might be also questions asked on securitization trust, and provisions of GAR are also important, that is general anti-avoidance rule, etc. So these are the important points. So basically if we see the section 1, which has 2 subparts, this covers the substantive provisions or the computational based provision. Then we have the section 2. This consists of chapter number 13 to chapter number 20. And mainly this comprises of the procedural laws of the income tax. So let's see the weightage and marks for this now. So the weightage allotted is 20% to 30%, and the marks allotted are 24 marks to 34 marks. Now let's see what type of questions will be asked in this. So 2 or 3 application oriented questions or case scenario based MCQs might be asked, or independent MCQ also might come in the exam on the following topics, that is on TDS, TCS, recovery of tax, and there can be questions on income tax authorities, assessment procedures, appeals and revision, dispute resolution, miscellaneous provisions, provisions to counteract, that is penalties, offences and prosecution, and black money law, and tax audit and ethical compliances. So these are the important topics from this section 2. Now let's go ahead to section 3. So section 3 comprises of the international taxation, and the weightage for this is 30% to 35%. And the marks allotted are 34 marks to 40 marks. So let's see what are the important topics. So application oriented questions on topic non-resident taxation can be asked. So it might be a question involving computation of tax liability of a non-resident, applying general or special provisions, and case scenario based MCQ can also be asked. And then application oriented question on topic double taxation relief or advanced relief can also be asked. And it might be a computational problem involving application of section 90 or section 91. And there might be questions about doubly taxed income. And application oriented questions on topic transfer pricing may be asked. So it may involve computation of arm's length price, secondary adjustments under section 92 CE, and also disallowance of interest under section 94B and consequent adjustment to the total income. And also there might be questions relating to foreign tax credit relief, and you might be asked to compute tax rate of foreign company. And also be very careful, because sometimes in the question the amounts may be given in the foreign currency and the conversion rates are given. So you will have to convert it to the INR and then you will have to go ahead with your calculation. And then under this topic, application oriented question may be asked on advanced ruling. Also for NR taxation, section 115A is very important. And then some other important topics are, so knowledge based question may be asked. This might be totaling to like 6 marks. And the topics are overview of model tax conventions. So under this you might have questions on OECD and UN. And then there might be question on application and interpretation of tax treaties. Or you might have questions on fundamentals of base erosion and profit shifting. And there might also be knowledge based question on latest development in international taxation. So now let's see the question paper pattern. So assessment of this paper would be 30% case scenario based MCQ and 70% descriptive question. So for MCQ you did not provide any reasoning, but for descriptive question you have to substantiate the answer with proper reasoning. And also there is no negative marking for the MCQ, and each MCQ will have 4 options and you have to tick only one option. And for MCQ you have to mark the answer on the OMR sheet. So case scenario based MCQ will be there for 30 marks and all MCQ are compulsory. And the descriptive part of the question paper will have 6 questions. Out of these 6 questions, the question number 1, which is of 14 marks, which will be compulsory question, and this will be from subpart 1 of section 1, which I told previously. Then out of remaining 5 questions of 14 marks each, you have to attempt any 4 questions. And you might also have internal choice in one of the sub questions. So these were the key takeaways from the ICAI BOS webinar for CA Final, Direct Tax Law and International Taxation. I hope this summary gives you a clear direction for your preparation and help you avoid last minute confusion. Remember, ICAI has already given us a roadmap. We just need to follow it smartly to score well. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more such updates and exam strategies. All the best for your CA exams. Keep working hard and stay consistent. I will see you all in the next video.